Billy Woods fans, I'm letting y'all know right now, it's the first listen, alright? So if I don't catch every layer of every single bar, let me rock. We gonna catch what we can. But nah, this is gonna be a fun listen, man. It's just so much to dissect with Billy Woods because there's so much thought going into every bar, every cadence, every delivery. I also think Billy Woods has cemented himself as top 1 or 2 active abstract rappers. I think when it's all said and done, he'll be in that top 1 conversation for abstract rappers. So let's see what he got here.
I think Mengistu Haile Miriam is my neighbor. Whoever it is moved in and put an automated gate up, repainted brick walls atop which now cameras rotated. Sniffed a whiskey on the veranda, I wonder what he's thinking. In the morning the maid brings...
I love the storytelling out the gate. That person who he named first, that was a political official from Ethiopia. Now he's painting this picture of this gated house with excessive security. I'm interested to see where this is going.
Father tripping, it's been quite bad lately. High tension, galvanized steel security fencing. To get through, they never told the truth in your life. Can't start now. Ever so slowly locked up in your own house. Suitcase packed, melted down the crowd. But a haven's only safe as long as they want you around. Tomorrow, it's no telling. Hollow when you done selling.
You see how well they treat me? My own courtyard for private.
The dope opener. Out the gate, I think we see Billy Woods' skill set full display. I looked up that first name that he mentioned, so this song was kind of a historical storytelling as he was talking about this leader in Ethiopia seeking asylum. He's explaining that fortified house that he lived in. Then that second verse when things kind of got abstract, when he was describing the house, that same house being empty. The 2 bars that stuck out to me was a haven's only safe as long as they want you around, which can relate back to being driven out of Asylum. But I also think it might have had a double application because that last line was hollow when you're done selling. I could be reaching, but I think he could be playing on these drug dealing kingpins who their community or kind of their asylum. The community loves them. Think like Pablo Escobar's community or Sly Green's community. Those are communities that despite what was going on and despite the bad that those people did, their communities treated them like heroes, and how quickly that can turn around, especially in like Pablo Escobar's case. Could be reaching, but that's kind of how I took that. Let's get into No Hard Feelings.
Black astronaut, cop spacesuit and jet off my steps. Challenger launch, burning bright, burning death, burning the firmament. Chore boy will catch the hint, black boy burn crisp. Purse, black lips, black marionettes dance limp over the pit. The kindly ones distant as the winter's sun. A mad woman with... He
got this imagery of this black astronaut, but drawing some very obvious parallels of being black in America.
After all that, she no-showed. The suite already paid for, so I toweled the door and smoked dough. Coach Kush called Drew Gold. After a couple texts, I left it alone. Ice melted, but the champagne's still cold. Channel flipping.
Dizzying song. That beat was off the wall. And I feel like we're finna be saying that a lot over the course of this album. No drums on the album yet, but Preservation is really filling out these beats in a way that you don't even really need them. The song just felt like a straight up dream where it's multiple different scenes. Wasn't really a clear link between the 3 scenes. Those opening lines really stood out where he's painting that black person in space, and then it morphed into him going to this hotel room, lighting up there, girl leaving him hanging. Interesting song, man, but the storytelling throughout is top tier. Let's get into Wharves. Here go the drums.
Waves on wharves, war washed poor. Never broke again what he said on the farm. Nowadays scavengers come before the wolf finish. Teeth bare, bristling, they not scared, something different. The huts was empty, cold still warm in the kitchen. Cannibal tours, they came on all 4s, waterborne, eyes like jaws.
I think I'm following the imagery so far. So I think this first verse is a metaphor for war. He started with the lines, war wash the poor, but then he goes into this imagery of a wolf coming and just completely terrorizing a community. But then the chorus is saying it's a cannibal tour, so the wolf or the beast here is a human.
African queen on the ship's deck, shipwrecked European swimming with the virus, shot out like God's semen. Fuck the bird, pox screaming, crack
That's a wild line. Shout out like guys seeming to describe white people as a wild line. But yeah, so now that we enter this second verse, the war that he was alluded to in the first verse is more so colonialism, seems like.
The chiefs eat children, the grease drip, the meat rich. Down here it's just the muddy creek bend and twist, the bride hiss, the fat running rivulets, the fire spit.
That song's dope. I love the chemistry between Preservation and Billy Woods because those drums had this tribal going to Warfield and talking about colonialism ravaging through Africa. Hey, your boy had that song figured out quick. Come on, man. Pat myself on the back. Let's get into Sauvage.
Real observant and split-second decisions, quick to kill a murder. Child of God might stray away at times, though I'm still a servant. In the hood with
That's a fire line. That line is amazing. That line is amazing. Oh my goodness. Child of God might stray away at times, though I'm still a servant. Like Christians are servants of God, but he's making a double entendre talking about he's a servant, like he's serving work. That's a tough line.
Dug down in my soul and did some soul searching. All I found was a police report for a missing person. Every time I pay to connect, make a bigger purchase. Trying to run this bag up, fuck buying them bitches purses. Moving at a slow pace, I used to get discouraged. All gas, no brakes, never did reverse.
This is a tough 4-syllable rhyme scheme too. This is an amazing verse so far by Boldy.
And on that road, never did rehearse it. On the janky promoters tour through the chillin' circuit.
Man, I was wondering how Boldy James was going to fit in on this album. I know he can get abstract because he had that Main Drum and Nichols album, but this is sick. This is the most abstract way I've heard almost any rapper talk about selling coke. That was a fire verse start to finish.
Dre shot his uncle for beating his mom. Beat the case, started 11th grade like nothing was wrong. A few class on the table. On the bright side, they only gave him house arrest once they seen he disabled. Good lawyer. Some couldn't wait to kick their kids out. Others had to do it for a gang shot up the house. And he used to lock a little brother in his room and we fuck on the couch. Doggy, she didn't like to kiss on the mouth.
Oh, that storytelling at start. That's gritty, man. Showing his uncle getting shot, beating both cases. Ugh. Then I love that line about the mom having to kick her son out of the house because she putting herself in danger by leaving him there. Tough.
Everything's smooth, but the gun just hiccup. Central American Uber mentions in the bed of a pickup. Building prefab duplexes, human traffic like Department of Corrections. God the savages, fishbone necklaces.
Man, this is some of the dopest storytelling I've heard from Billy Woods. I think his storytelling here is a little bit more vivid than the storytelling he did on his last 2 projects with ELUCID. But man, he threw me for a loop. So Boldy James had that good verse describing pretty much himself. And it seemed like Billy Woods was describing the same kind of persona as Boldy James was someone stuck in the streets. But it took this turn as things got more and more dark as he was describing this person who was getting attention from the feds, and then it turned into someone who was human trafficking. They given us a lot to digest so far, and then the beats are as abstract, if not more abstract than the rapping. So let's get into the Doldrums.
You don't work, you don't eat. The wind didn't blow for a week. Birds fly east, searching for green. Open beaks in the nest.
The strings here is so bassy, it feels like they're percussion.
Open them palms up, turn black as a ghost. Nothing ever happens till it do.
What the heck is going on?
Almost new. Mom shook her head, you shouldn't love. We exchanged time for drugs. Time piled up, but it was never enough. Time flies when you call a nigga bluff. Time ran down on us like the first of the month and dumped.
This is twisted. I mean, it's hard to put a finger on that first verse because he was definitely talking about serving and dealing, but there was so much ship imagery. It was like pirate imagery mixed with drug dealing. Now, like I described it, not paying the plug is time and time running out. And then that line we said, time ran out and dumped.
Caught him lacking, waking up on a park bench a bum.
Bro, he's throwing me for a loop. So yeah, it wasn't a literal plug. It was actually time. Time ran out, you did nothing with your life, now you're a bum.
Nothing ever happens till it do. Waterproof boots like new. Mom shook her head, showed her dead man's shoes.
Billy Woods definitely does mushrooms, right?
Gold shimmering in the reef. African water in the links to the piece. The Carter 3, pour out a double park Jeep.
Man, that song felt like an acid trip. The beat was pretty much all strings with these drums teased in, but the guitar plucks were so thumpy, it felt like a kick. Then you had these different strings forming a harmony. The beat was off kilter too. And then what Billy Woods did, I felt 3 different stories being told at the same time, with this pirate imagery, this drug dealer imagery, and then this African imagery. That was a lot. This song is NYNEX.
Futures and flying cars, it's Rachel dollars all absolved. It's autonomous computers sending shooters back in time at the behest of defunct message boards.
Bro, this nigga Preservation is tripped out. He's using microphone popping as part of the beat.
The slave master children all look
Is that a harmonica?
True, the future is children, but whatever future you building already look miserable.
It's like some dystopia being painted, but man, what he's doing with his cadence and his rhyme schemes, tough on this song so far.
Said he had a vision.
Oh, what is
Said
going
he had
on?
a system. Said he was the one true and living. Said he had a mission. Said we in a prison. Everything, unknown pleasure from the belly sing. My name already ring. My neighbor never a word, but always listening. Then walk, scream before word, no convincing them. I said he had a vision.
Yeah, this is like a dystopia-ish song, but now it seems like with that chorus from Billy Woods and then that verse from ELUCID, now it seems like they're making reference to the Bible end times, like Antichrist type stuff.
Said he had a system. Said he was the one true and living.
Hold on. We gonna have to dig deep. Gotta put the glasses on, you feel me? You feel me? Here we go. It's getting intense. We moving past my IQ. This add about 10 more IQ points.
Metal netter in a love letter, dove tears in the inkwell for a dove feather. I make a dove chill when I spread the bill.
I love his rhymes game.
Blood shell said it was a gimmick. Someone's pain and some other motherfucker's pension. Your daddy was a rich man, stolen invention. Said he had a vision. Said he had a.
Hey, the glasses didn't help.
Some niggas run when they see niggas running. Some niggas run and see.
Some niggas run when they see niggas running. If I see a group of niggas running, Usain Bolt, you feel me? You know who don't run when they see niggas running?
I be the latter. 4,000 years after King James claimed God's great. I said I'm flat.
They're definitely making a bunch of Bible references. That King James line kind of confirms it.
Like Laverne, used to rock a tar baby perm, rare rabbit habits, moves documented by the coons, and all the gatekeepers walk pageant. Messiah walks the same line, canonically and sonically. I was in the same mind, no need 4 or 5 G's of cost.
Canonically and sonically was in the same line. Heavy Bible references. Y'all better go to Sunday school, man.
No mind, sidestepping like it's hammer time. Deep cut so fire.
Sidestepping like it's hammer time. Yeah, that song was tripped out too, but the common theme was that biblical imagery. They had a beat change in the beginning too. Interesting, man. I like how Denmark Basti, I haven't heard of that guy before, but I like how his verse sounded, but I didn't pick out a lot of meaning from his. ELUCID's verse was really abstract, but I could definitely get that Antichrist imagery. Definitely saw the biblical references from Quelle Chris's verse, and then the apocalyptic references in Billy Woods' verse. A lot going on with that song. I'm digging it though. This is Christine with Mike Ladd.
Black car on the back street, Lil me asleep on the back seat, low by street lamps and the blackness in between. Some had the trap in the trunk of the Beamer, some kept the cracks up front so they could eat them. Some went through the windshield, some went to the precinct, hunted for the whip, so when police took it, I never paid, no, never mind. Easy come.
I'm feeling that verse a lot. It seems like this common theme is this car, and I think this car is a big metaphor for growing up hustling, growing up in the streets, and all those ways how it can end, the getting arrested, crashing, going through a windshield, hitting somebody. I think all those are metaphors about how that lifestyle can end, death, prison. I think that imagery at the beginning, talking about him falling asleep while his parents are arguing, I think that was just his way of saying that he's reminiscing and thinking about growing up. Those lines where he's talking about the police took the car and he didn't really care because he had money, that kind of stuck out to me. I think maybe he's going the route of saying money can keep you out of this lifestyle altogether, or make you not have to deal with the consequences of it.
They looking for the vehicle, took the plates off, put it in his granny backyard, told her something believable. He got killed, it was still there for a year or two. I see it driving through, granny on the stoop, she never waved back, high grass.
Jump to Imperial Benin, 15th century. Trade routes heavy. Break the bank like Musa. Myth and gold, truth aplenty. We still feed on dreams and need a remedy. Trauma, not an enemy. Perverse German woodcuts could have been truer.
Wow. Yeah, so I dug into that first verse, that second verse from Billy Woods. Kept that same imagery. This one more so focused on, I call it the violence part of that lifestyle. Then Mike's verse, I took that as him saying that Africa was a beautiful place when he grew up. But then the twist being he grew up centuries ago, pre-colonialism. Interesting song. This is Heavy Water.
Knowing that the native is the way to see our people as if through a peephole. That the evil stay trying to keep close. Shit is hard, but regardless, the gods is giving cheat codes. Not the cheating on some peoples. That's the fuck the fame with a lust for shame. Not adjust the game, D-Rose.
Multiverse Benzino, rolled back on a black Pegasus. Producers had in his sack, Senegalese twist, snaking out the bag. I come back against rap, please, came back black.
Hey, that's an opening line right there. Multiverse Benzino. I haven't heard of Breeze Brewing before, but that was a sick verse. When Braggadocio gets abstract, it can create some really interesting verses like his verse. Hopefully Billy Woods does the same thing on this song.
Clarence 13X had the white girl sick. Shimmy down the steps with the wink. Yakubian experiments gain a function in the kitchen sink. The stage plot was 108 mics, 2 centrifuges.
The version I'm gunning for light, the voice useless. The solid stab in the back, he too Brutus. Brutalist blue boys moving, they shooting. Nothing new.
Ooh, that's tough. A stab in the back, Brutus line, and then he goes into the brutalist boys in blue. Come on, the alliteration with that bar, the punch with that bar. LP is cold.
Welcome home to the truth. Big crime proof. It's a ruse. You a feeder what I use. Throw the deuce.
Same rhyme scheme throughout that whole verse. And that was a really, really dense rhyme scheme, full of alliteration and end rhymes. LP is tough, man.
Gun them good, till understood that some cat should quit scrubbing your ass after running the bathroom and madness. Y'all coming with plots, setting up savage shit. I'm Brad Pitt. What's in the box? Giving them Brad legit.
Oh, man. Man, I haven't heard this dude before, but he putting on a show.
In the box, baby, don't talk, run, hoof it. Make it all stop, Eminence front talk, butcher. Good in the crunch, you know this bunch more crooked. Reason to raise, up a collapse and start cooking.
This feels like sparring with Breeze and what LP are doing. And then check out LP's cadence, the da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da, end rhyme.
Be quick, I'm on the last clip, sweating. Front to the flames, back to the black pit. Weapons, steadily aim, couldn't be tamed, too reckless. You entertain, we bring the game true.
Nah, that's a cold song. The chemistry between LP, Breeze Brewing, and Billy Woods, especially Breeze and LP's chemistry, top notch, barring back and forth. That was a tough song, man. This is Haarlem. The transition between songs is tough. I'm messing them up because I got to pause and talk. But take my word for it.
King of all blacks, I hate human hearts. I let things fall apart. Motor cars rusting in the garage. Grenadillas wild in the yard. Vons climbing burglar bars. The roof fell in on guards. It's full of stars.
Man, the rapping is getting manic now, and the way that he's switching from topic to topic, scene to scene, the way that the songs are merging into each other with these transitions, and I could just see what he's rapping about. Like, you've been to those towns that's just run down.
Past is never far. Reaching with chopped arms, locked hands, no spare parts. The band played those were the days I watched them hang. I ate red in the stadiums.
And then those were the days, like the twist being you looking back at a place that probably used to be thriving and is complete ruins now. Like, man, those were the days.
Tembe said the wing get the ashes in the end, bruv. The gorilla severed every inoculated limb, left them with stubs. Cigarettes on the now.
Kind of a full circle moment. He's bringing it back to colonialism, leaving Africa in ruins. Bro, the sampling here is sick. It's like he's taken from 60s TV vignettes. God dang, I pulled the SAT vocabulary word out there. I said vignettes. Ooh, them glasses might have did something.
pictures. No touching the strippers. Don't come around with no glass slippers. Gas
nah,
lamps,
he ain't finna rap over this.
Rain slick as glass lands. The unslaved nigga. Morris Bandit.
Bro, what is wrong with these niggas?
More science, a tangle of tangents. Get you a pistol if you want your prayers answered. Holding court, the whole breast heavy as gourds, milk rancid. Standing downwind of the homeless encampment. Find my way home, white man left the lamp lit.
Hey, that last beat sound like mental illness. I'm telling you, man, that I was getting more and more manic with how he's transitioning from scene to scene, and then the tempo of the beats in these last few songs have picked up, and then the rate in which he's changing the beats, the song bleeding to each other, and then he just loses his mind with this noise. Like, he rapping over straight up piano noise. There's no rhythm to it. These niggas are sick. Alright, this is Versailles.
Money spent, it was all pocket change. End of the day, day traders make minimum wage. Pennies on the dollar once it's all said and paid. Penny stocking cap pulled over the face. Out of habit, the president's facing the same way.
I'm feeling him on that. Wall Street, government, streets, all the same hustle.
Sick killing off the curb. 999,999 in the dirt. A sign above my head to count how many patrons served. Every time the number flips, somebody get what they deserve. Got it.
This is probably the first song I didn't really like. Despot had some pretty good one-liners, but his delivery, his cadence, and then some of his rhyme schemes, a little bit too basic, straightforward, wasn't really feeling it. I thought the beat was really tame, especially compared to the last 3 or 4 tracks. I guess the album got to settle down at some point, but I was kind of hoping to just get more and more chaotic. All right, this is Protoevangelium.
Is null and void, disregarded. The game thick with con artists and hucksters. Flip a cardboard box, decarb, but that's not black empowerment, that's you trying to pay the rent. Niggas got a lot of nerve, I give them that. But I don't believe a word I see through the act. I see how you try and switch up the path. Before you come for me, brother, make sure you stop the gas.
So this is the first time on the album he was speaking to somebody or something in the rap game itself. It sounds like he was going directly at somebody. I'm not sure who.
Now you get what you want. Do you want more?
Oh, I love the vocals on that chorus.
Now you get what you want. Does you want
It
more?
reminds me of like an island version of Parliament.
And every other inference, thinking that night in Chinatown we got in the party, I still don't know how. Smoking cigars across from Dr.
Like
J,
that.
mine was full of haze. Everything was free. One spoke English, the other Portuguese. Bed had a canopy. Blood.
Yeah. Preservation was definitely like, all right, everybody, let's calm down a little bit, or maybe Billy Wood said it. But yeah, mellowed out a little bit. Not as far as the rapping, because the rapping here is still stellar. Everything from the rhyme scheme, cadence, and then the good storytelling on that second verse. Painting a couple pretty cool images, and I love the note he was talking about in that first verse, but I kind of get the gist of it. Pretty dope song. This is Remorseless.
It's a freedom in admitting it's not gonna get better. Washing your hands of people you know forever. I'd be a liar if I feed surprise. A goat eats where it's tethered. Treat African proverbs like Vegas flyers. I float above the peasants. Too clever by half.
It's the contrast in that line. I treat the African proverbs like Vegas flyers, like I'll take a chance on it, but even the contrast of African flyers and then gambling, which I'm sure goes against every African proverb.
In person, these rappers' watches look tempting. The chain say envy, but PTSD keep me counting, never spending. My accountant is a head full of bad memories and sad endings. It's all payment pending. I'm not concerned with general.
Those last couple lines starting when he's talking about PTSD keeps him counting and not spending. That reminds me of some of the bars that Kendrick Lamar was talking about on Dan, where he was talking about he's scared. He's seen poverty so much that he's scared to spend his money.
Mid-80s in the rear view of a gold Mercedes. Midday sun make the crocodiles lazy. Money phone pocket dial, Ron come save me. Sweet old ladies poisoning pigeons in the park. For a lark, make mine strychnine. Life is a zip line in the dark. Spare me the Hallmark, Karl Marx. I was in the Dollar Tree break room playing cards.
Interesting song, man. I haven't touched enough on how Preservation just keeps creating these really unique soundscapes for Billy Woods to rap over. And it seemed like this was one of those searching for meaning songs, like what meaning does life have? He talked about the different proverbs. Then on that second verse, he painted this contrast between this gold Mercedes having money, the money phone pocket dialing, to him being broke and Dollar General. And then he kind of has his life is a zip line through the dark, like you can have either side of this coin, you don't really have any control over it. Pretty thought-provoking song, and I think it had the perfect beat to kind of set the tone for it. This is the closer, Smith and Cross.
Resting bitch face, breastplate, Wonder Woman bracelets. You can shoot arrows all day, kid. Heart scrawled in wet pavement. Ozymandias is the wavelength. Here today, gone tomorrow. Sorrow, white rum in my sorrow. Something Olado. Still got no quarrel with them Viet Congs. Speak sepia tones. Everyone I know is gone, no feels. Generational trauma. At the museum, eyes glassy from the pain pills. Me and her in the diorama.
Dog, what did I just listen to? That beat was too gorgeous for the lyrics, I think, because it sounded like he was just describing just straight up sorrow, like everything that you could be sad about in the world. He started with heartbreak, he moved to loss and grief, and he touched on just a lot of things wrong with the world. And then behind it all, you got this nice vocal sample and dope guitar sample. Man, overall, it's a really impressive album from Billy Woods, man. It was just an experience listening to it for the first time because everything is so layered, and it's crazy knowing that the next time I listen to this, I'm just going to pick out so many gems that I completely miss, and so much meaning that I completely miss on this first listen. But overall, Billy Woods is probably my favorite when it comes to abstract rap. I think a lot of rappers can get caught up in making music for themselves, and they rap about just what's on their mind with no real regard for what the listener can pick out and take from it. I know some people are into that, but with Billy Woods, I just love the focus that he has with each song. He's really good at storytelling, and even when he gets really abstract, you see themes and concepts with each song, and that was here. I thought the chemistry between Preservation and Billy Woods was amazing. I thought that was evident from the first track, and like I said, Preservation just did a really good job of painting the soundscape. This is a dope project from Billy Woods, man. I'm gonna have to listen to it like 10 more times before I can come with a firm opinion on it, but I really enjoyed this listening. Billy Woods is probably top one when it comes to this brand of hip-hop.